2 games down in the MLB season, and the Dodgers are still on the pathway to 162 and it's the Tokyo Series post-game show powered by MLB 9 Innings, Scotty Braun with Erik Kratz. And I'm going to have to start right at the top here. Yes, it was awesome to have this series in Japan. It was insane attendance. There were so many cool things that went down over the past week, but also as far as locking in on today, because we did a post-game show yesterday too, Roki Sasaki debuted. Your thoughts?
The day and age where we're in right now, for everybody listening, I showed the splitter. The day and age is spinning the ball. He came out and showed a pitch that we haven't seen. We haven't seen a true forkball at that velocity in a long time. Did he have some nerves? Yes. Did the Cubs do a good job of not chasing out of the zone? Yes. But what he showed with that splitter, forkball, knuckle split, whatever you're going to call it, just shows they got somebody that is going to grow in the big leagues. And those 2 pitches, just heater, splitter, he's going to dominate a lot of lineups.
He was feeling it in the very beginning of the game. The first inning, he was only 99 and 100. I mean, rounding up from 98 point whatever, but sitting 99, 100. It ended up ticking down a couple miles per hour on the heater, but he was feeling it in the first, and then eventually mixing in that splitter, which goes in, a variety of directions, right? It can break down to the right. It can break down to the left, which is not common for someone with a splitter like that. So it's got the most drop already in Major League Baseball, about 3.5 feet. It's got the least spin, at least according to what we've been able to track so far in spring training. Is that what you saw?
100%. The normal splitter, I think, ranges anywhere from like 1,200 to 1,350 RPMs. Fastballs spin at about 1,200. Four-seam fastballs spin even higher than that. Breaking balls spin even more. The less spin you have on it, the more that ball is going to break, the more the air is going to push on it. Roki Sasaki's average splitter that he threw in spring training this year was at 550. Essentially, you're throwing a knuckleball, and people will say, well, knuckleball doesn't even spin. It actually has rotation, just not a lot, and so that ball is going to hit seams in different directions and take it in different directions. That is a little preview of why I chose who my player of the game was, but we'll wait to get to the player of the game. That pitch is something that we don't see.
Yeah, 56 pitches total from Roki, 3 innings, 1 hit, 1 run, 3 strikeouts, and 5 walks. Like you mentioned, we did see a little bit of nerves, just like Yamamoto last year in his debut in Korea. Obviously, he figured it out, so everyone's in good shape. And the Dodgers offense is still really good. It felt like a flashback. First home run of the 2025 MLB season. Who but Tommy Tanks? I mean, he's huge, Kratz. He's a monster. He's actually had 7 home runs in the regular season with the Dodgers since he was traded to them. 5 of them have come against the Cubs, because remember last year, the back-to-back 2-homer games, and they were like, Tommy Tanks. So that was where the nickname came from, and we saw that play out here. Eventually Kike, eventually Ohtani, which we'll get to, but they put up some runs today.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like Tommy Edwin was a free agent that the Dodgers just went, oh, wait, no, it wasn't. It was just another trade that they were able to go pick him up. Oh, and he was on the IL when they picked him up. He was coming off an injury. There is some level of, obviously, skill and status that this dude is an elite player, yes, but it's confidence too. This is a dude they picked up last year. He was on the IL from the Cardinals, looking to get rid of players. They were like, yeah, we'll definitely take him. Oh, and we're going to give you a contract extension, and you win the NLCS MVP. Oh, and now you're protecting the Shohei Ohtani when Freddie and Mookie Betts go out. You talk about Swiss Army knives. It's like, oh, he can play second, he can play center, he can play shortstop. He was protecting Shohei Ohtani in the Dodgers lineup. To me, that's the most versatility that you can get. Oh, and he hit a right-handed dinger on the second day of the season.
And who else always steps up in big moments? Kike Hernandez made it 5-1 later in the game in the fourth. 110 miles an hour off the bat from Kike. He just loves these moments.
The ball was cranked. Kike's going to give you his 15 homers a season. That ball hit the back wall of the Tokyo Dome. I saw Joe Adele when we were hitting over there hit the lights on the back wall above where Kike hit, and that was a tank. Anything off of that back wall is crushed, and he crushed it. He was actually struck out. Steele threw a nice backdoor slider to him, and Alan Porter froze. Could have given him this one. Would have been strike 3. Fouled off a couple pitches. Heater in. We'll see you.
I do want to bring up that comment I'm looking at from Sicilian. He said, no Betts, no Freeman in this series. Good point. It's only 2 games, but man, they looked good. And we'll get to the Cubs in a moment, but Shohei Ohtani, 2 strikes on him, makes it 6-2. Of course, he's not going to leave without smashing a dinger. And I feel like the expectations for him are jaded at this point, where everyone's like, yeah, he homered. Of course he homered. The pressure that was on his shoulders to not just deliver and have his team obviously play well, but to hit a homer. Everyone was like, oh, this is the Babe Ruth of our time period. We want a homer. And you can see him clenching his teeth when he made contact because he's hoping that it goes, right? So that he can knock this off his checklist and say, hey, I played in front of my home country with the defending champs, and I gave them what they came for.
I 100% believe this was a homer. Tough angle. Thought they reached over. There's no way Major League Baseball is overturning without conclusive evidence the Shohei Ohtani in Japan, a home run that's called on the field. No way. Conspiracy theories aside, 2 pitches before he hit the homer. Pearson throwing 99 to 100. Big, huge donkey with short pants. He was throwing gas. He threw a heater that Shohei just watched. It looked like he slowed it down. Next pitch, he threw him a breaking ball that I saw later in the dugout. He kind of went, no, it just spins, like it backs up. And they were like, yeah, like they were talking about what the pitch was. After that, they zoomed in on him. After that breaking ball, they zoomed in on him, and he just had this smile on his face. I was like, oh my gosh, he is going to crush a dinger here, because that breaking ball, he knows it's not it. He doesn't have to fear for his life on that breaking ball. So he got ready for 99 and 100, hit a dinger. Shohei doing Shohei things.
And then they intentionally walked him later on in the game too, which, hey, you're playing a baseball game. And also, let's not forget, the Cubs actually sent the potential tying run to the plate with Matt Shaw late in this game. So it's not like this was a blowout. You got to play ball. Let's step aside. We'll talk about how it got tight in the 9th. Cubs disaster season. They're 0-2, right? Cancel the season for Chicago. Player of the game as well. But first, a little break for the pups. FT fam, I hope you have as much confidence as Penelope right now, who is an avid Spot and Tango fan, okay? And she uses the code FOUL, Kratz, because this is a personalized dog food subscription service that prevents you, of course, from going to the store to pick up the food, and she just gets the highest quality unkibble. That is what they're known for. And I know you love the quiz part of it too.
It's a super quick quiz, but it lets you give them the information and they tailor it to what is needed based on their age, size, activity level, all things that are custom for each and every one of your dogs.
Yeah, human grade ingredients in that unkibble. USDA meat, fruits, and veggies that are approved there. No artificial stuff, no preservatives. They've got the exclusive deal for the FT fam for a limited time. Go to spotandtango.com/foul. Use code FOUL to get 50% off your first order. That's spotandtango.com/foul. It's spotandtango.com/foul, code foul. Epic. All right, let's get to the player of the game, powered by MLB 9 Innings 25. You get to hand out the honors. This was not a vote. This was a one-man show. This was just straight-up dictatorship, Kratz. Who did you select?
Will Smith. Will Smith is 100% player of the game. Yeah, he didn't do anything crazy. Kike hit a dinger. Edman hit a dinger. Shohei hit a dinger. Will Smith had to catch that pitch that everybody was watching, and we just talked about breaking it down. It's going this way, that way. And he did an amazing job. Yes, there's 5 walks. That's not Will Smith's fault. the fact that he was able to get back there, the fact that he outlasted Carson Kelly, the Cubs catcher, with less pass balls with that pitch coming in there, and Carson Kelly just had regular speed balls and heaters. Oh, yeah, by the way, he got a couple knocks while he was over in Japan. I think he had 5 walks, 3 walks. Anyway, couple walks, couple knocks, good start to the season. Who dealt with a ankle contusion, which everyone's like, oh, it doesn't matter. It was 9 months ago. He's dealing with it for 9 months. And then you take a 14-hour flight. Some catchers don't play both games. He went out there, did it, and he controlled the splitter. We gotta give a cool name to it.
Yeah, we do. You're right. We should ask Kodai Senga because he seems to be good at that. He's got the ghost fork, and he just named one the other day, that super slow curveball. Whatever. We'll talk about that on FT at some point. I don't even know if you've seen that one yet, but I'll show you. Anyway, I do want to get to the Cubs because we're like 10 minutes in, and this is a post-game show for both sides. We do also have a Dodgers territory post-game show for you if you want to check that out after this one. We did that yesterday too. Alana and Clint having a time, probably having a cocktail because the party continues for the Dodgers. What about the Cubbies? I mean, towards the end of the game, they showed a couple shots of Craig Counsell, and he looked genuinely pissed. Season number 1 for him as highest paid manager up until now, when Dave Roberts has taken over on a year-by-year basis, was a disappointment for the Cubs. It was a massive disappointment for Chicago. They came up short again. They didn't have the firepower necessarily on the roster. Okay, fast forward, offseason, looks like a much better bullpen on paper. Add Kyle Tucker to the mix. Here comes Matt Shaw, one of their top prospects, if not their top prospect. They lose both games. Tucker, had the late double or whatever. They made a little push late against Alex Vesia, one of 20 closers for the Dodgers. But what did you think of this series for these 2 games? Seiya Suzuki didn't do much. Some of their big boys were just okay. They did actually put together, I think, more hits than the Dodgers in this second game. I think they had 8 hits, but it just wasn't enough. Justin Steele was just
He was, there's not a lot you can glean from a sweep when you go over to Japan against clearly the best team on paper in baseball. They're not going to stack up against the Dodgers on paper. What do the Cubs have to do? The Cubs have to get a lot out of their starting rotation. The Cubs have to get a lot out of their defense. To me, I thought their defense really was good. Besides Birdie's throwing error in the 5th inning yesterday, I think they showed a lot. Matt Shaw showed a lot as a rookie, being able to get out there and make some plays for the boys. Dansby Swanson's always going to be solid. So it's going to be starting pitching and defense, which is crazy for a team that traded for Kyle Tucker. To me, he's going to have a great year. But if Michael Busch is your third lefty in the top 4 of your lineup when you're out there day in and day out, and that's the protection you have, I just feel like the depth of this lineup isn't going to give them enough to fight through hiccups like Justin Steele had today. Justin Steele's going to get his games where he gets 6, 8 punch outs. He's going to go 6, 7 innings. But you need to have a lineup that can come through for your pitching staff when they have a little bit of off days. And I don't see it. I don't see, they had a lot of good plate discipline. I don't see that damage. And it only gets tougher when you go back to Chicago.
My thing is Kyle Tucker's going to need to look like he did for half a season last year. I mean, he only played half a season. He had the injury, but if he looks like that version of Kyle Tucker, where he was on pace for like 40 some odd home runs, and he's just a top, 10 or even 5 player in the sport, it changes things. So he's going to have to be that level for me, for the offense to take a step up. Because otherwise, like you said, the defense should be pretty similar, maybe a tick worse. I'm not sure. Shaw still has work to do there. He did have a mistake yesterday, right? He had a little throwing blip yesterday. And then,
that's right. Shaw did.
Yeah.
I thought Birdie's was the only error.
Very good defense. Also, I like Seiya Suzuki at DH much better than I do having him in the field. The bullpen should be better. Rotation should be in a similar spot. Is the offense going to bang enough for them to actually take a step and be the division champs, it doesn't look like a team that's going to be dominant by any means. It doesn't look like we're going to see them, run away with the division like the Brewers did last year.
When you talk about Tucker having a really good year, who protects him? That's why I look at it a lineup. Is Nico Horner protecting Kyle Tucker? Ian Happ's in the leadoff spot, good on base, so Tucker can get RBIs. But ultimately, who protects your MVP? And I don't see that right now in this lineup, because teams are just going to crush them with lefties if it's Bush. Is Justin Turner going to protect Kyle Tucker only when lefties are out there? Is that the most viable situation for this team? I get it, Turner can't play 162 games, but where is that protection going to be after you pick up that superstar? Or is it going to be a superstar that's just sitting out on an island by himself?
There's definitely people that are going to watch, and there's some right now that are watching live like, all right, let's relax. It's the second game of the season. The Cubs are 0-2. Ooh, totally agree. Understood. We're only telling you what we're working with here. The first couple of games of the season and what we see, and also what we spoke about in the offseason. We didn't say it was a bad team. It's just that none of us said, wow, this is it. They did it. They finally put together another dominant-looking ball club. It looks good, not great.
If only there was another all-star level bat that was out there towards the end of the offseason. Now you have some protection for Kyle Tucker, but they weren't willing to go far enough. And I don't think it's because Matt Shaw is going to be a bad player that I'm saying that. I think Matt Shaw is going to be a solid player. It would be great to have Matt Shaw and that other person that was still out there.
Yep. Hey, look, bottom corner of the screen right here. This show, North Side territory for Cubs fans. We also have Dodgers territory for Dodgers fans. Two more things I want to do. Number one, our dude Derek behind the scenes asked AI for some nicknames for the devastating splitter that Roki Sasaki has, and he came up with, or AI, he, she, or whatever you want, came up with the following names: the Silent Drop, the Vanishing Tide, the Hidden Blade, the Guillotine, or in Japanese, that would be Kubanagashi. What do you like?
Guillotine, probably the best. Maybe like Japanese theme, like a tsunami. The tsunami, because it just comes in waves. I don't know. I like the guillotine the best.
Yeah, but Kubanagashi is what I would want it to be called. I want the Japanese terminology or the Japanese language description. It just sounds better. Okay. Now, what I really want is a snack. And you might be wondering what I'm talking about, but my friend Evan Drellick, who writes for The Athletic, is out in Tokyo, and he went up to one of the food stands and found something called Kratz. Look at this little snack, Kratz, but still, they tried their best, and they put together something that looks like it has maybe a nut mix to it. It was at one of the food stands where he said it was fantastic. Of course, I was actually recently in Japan as well a couple months ago. It is just next level in terms of food. There's the stand in case you want to go to Tokyo, inside the Tokyo Dome, and find it, where you can find Kratz snacks. There you go, Kratz. No royalties.
I always knew that I made an impression when I went to Tokyo both times. And now those things are coming to fruition. It's Shohei for lotions, handshakes, perfumes, colognes, Fortnite. It's me for beer nuts.
Yep. It's a pepper bacon snack is what I'm being told.
Oh, let's get it. I hope Evan Drellick bought me some and is sending them. I need a box. I need a case of Kratz. Can't get your Kratz without Kratz.
I'll ask him if he can send us some, since you got to get through customs. Anyway, this was awesome. Thank you so much for joining us for a little early morning FT. And then we have our regular FT, which is also earlier in the morning still this week, as we're leading up to spring training games that start on the East Coast at 1 o'clock Eastern time. We're in Red Sox camp in Fort Myers, Florida for FT. Obviously, we'll hit other news as well. There were a few baby signings in terms of how much money, but big names. Craig Kimbrell was just signed to the Braves. We'll get to that. We'll get to Kobe Mayo upset about being optioned by the Orioles. That's a good story right there. Anyway, again, thank you to everyone that was watching this, and also to MLB 9 Innings for powering up our post-game shows bright and early in the morning, helping us put this all together. And there's a little more on the game. Check out the 2025 version, of course. Download it wherever you download apps on your phone, and you can get it for free. Okay? Thanks, FT fam. We'll see you later today.